Yeah, so welcome to One-on-One with Prof. Yaro. Today's topic is poverty alleviation in Africa, the way forward. I think one of the cancer that is now troubling Africa is poverty.
Yes.
So in this situation, we need somebody who is quite conversant with poverty alleviation in Africa. So today we have one of the experts who is going to discuss with us how we are going to deal with poverty alleviation in Africa. So we welcome our guest today. Her name is Princess Nana Yakubu.
Princess.
So as the uniqueness of this program, we don't introduce the host or the guest. So we let the guest introduce themselves. So Madam Princess, if you can tell us who is Princess Nana Yakubu.
Thank you very much for having me. My name is Princess Nana Yakubu, the founder, CEO, African Poverty Alleviation Initiative, APAI, that's APAI. Actually, I'm from Nigeria. And of course, I got inspired by my father, whose lifelong dedication to giving was something that I grew up watching him do.
Yeah.
The philanthropic, and within the community, even outside the community where I come from, he was always giving. So I grew up seeing my parents as givers.
Mm-hmm.
When in 2007, November to be precise, I was actually walking outside of Nigeria then,
Mm-hmm.
in an international organization called the Community of Sahel-Saharan States in SAD.
Mm-hmm.
The headquarters, of course, in Tripoli,
Mm-hmm.
for the war. So I came back to Nigeria, and while I was there in 2007, when I registered this organization with the CAC, which is, of course, where because if you don't register, it is said that it's not genuine.
Jenny, yeah.
Yes, so we had to register it to be able to carry on the API, to reach out to the less privileged, the needy, etc. So, as I was saying, our mission, of course, is to address the root causes of poverty through targeted programs, awareness campaign, and of course, sustainable development.
I think, Princess, I think for what you do, I'll come. It's one of the questions that I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
The first question that I have is 3 questions in one.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first one is, what is poverty? Some people ask, well, what is poverty?
Yeah, to me, I see poverty as a complex issue that goes beyond just having little money. I see poverty as not having access to the basic things needed for a decent life, such as food, shelter, clothing, clean water, education, health care,
Yeah.
and all. So, basically the infrastructures that's supposed to be the ones that's not there for people to be able to afford. These are one of the things I see that, of course, make people go through the poverty line.
Okay. Okay. So on the basis of this, how do we measure poverty? Because you said it's not only when you don't have money. So how do we measure poverty? How do I look at somebody and say, this person is living in poverty?
Okay, thank you for the question. Poverty can be measured in several ways. to capture different aspects of hardship.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the income level,
Mm-hmm.
the Human Poverty Index,
Mm-hmm.
the Multinational Poverty Index.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's the Human Poverty Index, the HPI,
Mm-hmm.
the dimensional poverty, which of course is the MPI,
Mm-hmm.
which let me break it down. The income level, for example, a basic measure comparing earning of a poverty line, like the World Bank extreme poverty threshold of $2 thereabout per day.
Yeah, I think 2.6 or something per day,
2.15
but
or
yeah,
2.
per day, yeah.
I think it's about 2.15 or
Yeah,
2.
Mm-hmm.
Per day. However, income alone doesn't reflect all poverty aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Income alone doesn't So when we talk about the Human Poverty Index, which of course is the HPI, measures poverty by considering factors, like lifespan access to education and basic services like clean water. When we talk about the Human Poverty Index. And when we talk about the dimensional poverty index, the MPI, I would say the accesses multiple deprivations such as education, health, standard of living, a fuller view of poverty beyond financial measures. So when you put all this together, you will see that, of course, they have different level of poverty index.
Measurement. Oh, an index. Okay.
Measurement,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So I know poverty is everywhere, although this international organization always associate poverty with Africa.
Yes.
So let's now narrow down to Africa. When we come to Africa, what do you think are the causes of poverty?
Growing up, till the time I got to the stage and time that I know, of course, how life is, we see a lot of people, and you keep wondering, why is it so? For example, Africa is so blessed with all the kinds of natural resources you can think of.
Yeah.
Then I keep asking myself, why? Up till this moment, I'm still asking myself, why? So by the time you sit down and look at this, I always say that poverty is caused by a complex mix of maybe historical, political, environment factors. When we talk about political instability and conflict, we talk about corruption, we talk about poor infrastructure, we talk about lack of education and healthcare, climate change, and sometimes I try to bring these colonial legacies.
Yeah, I think we'll come to that.
Yes, I try to put it because
we'll come to that.
I said it's one of the things, but as you said, we'll come to that.
Yeah.
So many African countries, of course, have faced civil wars, unstable government, disrupting economy, displacing communities. So when you have all this kind of thing happening within the community, especially the rurals, how on earth do you expect people to be able to build a stable life? They will not be able to build a stable life.
Yeah.
And when we talk about corruption, of course, when people in charge, people that are supposed to make the citizens of this country to get all or afford whatever it is they should afford, you see that they divert the funds. They divert the funds, like healthcare is supposed to be there for all. I shouldn't be spending a lot of money to get the basic needs that citizens of a country need. But by the time these people that are in charge are supposed to, who of course maybe will put them there because of course, politics, what they call democracy.
Yeah.
And they're put there by the people. And the next thing, these people that put you there, you should change them. You don't give them the basic needs that they're supposed to be entitled to. So corruption is one of course, the major
major
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So of course, inadequate roads, electricity, water supply, you know, and all, you know, limits the opportunities. Like, for example, a farmer or a business person will not be able to do things. Maybe if your work has to do with power, which of course is electricity, you have to go through the stress to have this done, which of course is, you know, so sometimes when you sit and listen to the way people complain, you get, for example, I get very emotional. It's really sad, of course, to see like climate change when we have the drought, flood, you know, and this flood, of course, when it started, affects the farmers' agriculture, people do planting, but because maybe, of course, I keep saying that since we have experts on ground to tackle, like, for example, the flood issue, maybe if, of course, the water channel is supposed to go through the right, and because of corruption, you see them covering up and now opening the wrong side because maybe somebody somewhere is interested in that correct side that was supposed to make the water to flow. You know, it becomes a problem, and farmers get to have these issues of not being able to get their crops. You know, so of course it affects it. So many things. You know, we're so blessed.
Yeah, I think so. From this narrative, I think when we look at poverty in Africa, I'll use the term we have is it consists of cascade of issues involved.
Yes.
But you raised something very, very important. Yes. We are so blessed. Yes, Africa has
all the natural resources you can think of.
Every natural and human
from
resource.
Every soil.
Every soil, yeah.
On the continent of Africa.
That we
have resources that are yet to be tapped. We have a lot that even untapped. If you start to call the countries, of course, today, and the things that they have under the soil, for example, Nigeria, my country.
Yeah.
Nigeria.
Yeah, I was once listening to one, is it Mustafa, Al-Mustafa?
Okay, yes, Al-Mustafa.
Yeah, and
that's Major Mustafa, the former CEO to the late president or late head of state.
Yeah. Yes, and he was mentioning some mineral resource.
That's right, California.
California.
Yes, he talked about California.
I Googled California, and I was surprised that we have all these things in Nigeria. When you go to, apart from California, we have oil in Nigeria, gold, everything.
We have gold, diamonds, precious stones.
Everything. When you go to Ghana,
a lot.
Everything is in
Congo.
Africa. Congo.
A lot.
Congo, I was told, my research shows that they have this uranium, which is for computers.
Niger Republic.
So with all these having in Africa, why is it that the economic and general welfare is so lower in Africa that you see Africans, you know, the way you say you are, sometimes you become passionate. I also become extremely over passionate when I discuss this.
That's right.
You find very intelligent Africans, very strong Africans who could stay in Africa to help, maybe in agriculture.
That's right.
Our intellectuals, even including some of us who are here, are our intellectuals.
That's right.
Instead of staying to, help build a continent. So why? What is wrong with Africa that our economic growth, our general welfare is lower in Africa when you compare to other countries?
Corruption. Some wants to have it for themselves, and even to the generation yet unborn. Why will anybody say it wants to keep billions of naira for the generation yet unborn? So I keep thinking all the time, if, for example, you even want to eat this money, why can't you make things work?
Mm-hmm.
So that you too, as the individual that has been given this opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to put things right, because all of us can be in that position.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Can be in that position.
Yeah.
So I keep saying, why can't they do it right so that the citizens can benefit?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Once you put a very good healthcare center, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and I decide to go there to check myself,
Mm-hmm.
to get all the medications that I need,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be happy. But when I go there as a citizen of the same country,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been changed, they tell me, go and bring so this we don't have, we will not be able to treat. Then you find yourself, same citizen,
Mm-hmm.
that are supposed to be doing this for you, going abroad because, of course, maybe they have headache. They will say, oh, I have headache, I have toothache. Oh, I don't trust the doctors in my country, so I have to travel out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not particular, maybe in a particular country.
Yeah.
A lot of our African brothers and sisters that are supposed to help us put these things right are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You leave your country. So why don't you put it together?
Mm-hmm.
And if you find out today, of course, out of the shores of Africa, you find out that even the medical team there, one of the best.
Yeah.
And one of the best.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So one other things I want to add to corruption again is lack of transparency.
Transparency, okay.
Lack of transparency. Because anything you do and you're not transparent in your dealing is a problem. It's lack of transparency that has produced corruption. That's how I see me.
Yeah.
It's me, my own, quote me. It's lack of transparency. Princess is saying it's lack of transparency that has brought up corruption. If we are transparent with one another and you put it to the board that, okay, so money has been put for this.
Yeah.
And it should go for this. But when you see people try to cut corners, it becomes a problem.
A problem, yeah.
Then instead of using, let's say, 100 to fix a particular road, you see them cutting costs because they want to have quick money. So sometimes I ask myself and people around when we discuss, why can't they just do it right?
At least, yeah.
So that people, even them too, can benefit, because the truth is, even these people doing this, it's not all their family that are even benefiting from this money or whatever it is that
it is, yeah.
because they must go through that same road
that
they've refused to fix. Like the last time in Nigeria here, the minister of is it works? I don't know, but the minister in charge of the road said instead of them using a particular kind of sand, they brought the wrong sand. So the road cannot stay for as long as it should be.
It should be, yeah.
He wasn't, yes, the minister, with all permission, I can mention his name. It's not a hidden thing. They are there for us. And I think it's His Excellency Umahi. Yes, yes, I saw him. I watched him on TV. Then I say, why? Why will anybody do this? When you put this road for a journey that's supposed to be like an hour journey, you find yourself doing 3 hours, for God's sake.
Yeah.
So you see, so transparency, honestly, is key. Once you're not transparent, believe you me, nothing will go. Transparency to me, lack of transparency to me, give birth to corruption.
Corruption, okay. Then we come to what you started. As Africa's colonial past has any effect in terms of their poverty that we find ourselves?
Yeah, colonialism, of course, left a very, very deep inequalities and underdevelopment, weak institutions, and economy, which, of course, we are still struggling. I come back again. Now, there's so many African countries going through a lot.
Yeah.
You have come, you have colonized, you've put a system in place. The system, of course, most of the places are not working. Maybe more than 60 years ago, the systems are not working. Why? It's the same thing I still ask. Why is the system not working? You've put people in place. You've colonized people. Then you hear that, of course, they still carry some kind of things from here, like the raw materials, reform, bring it back, Africans will buy. So I keep asking, why can't they help in fixing these things? Even though they had colonized the African continent and went back, they have the brain, yes, they have, but we still have the brain, because even when they are building some parts of the countries where they said they are coming from, they said even the black men too helped to build some of these countries.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So you can't come and be carrying the natural resources that we have on the continent of Africa and not doing it right. So if they were transparent in seeing to it that these things are correct, or are supposed to be well done, or should be well done, and they didn't do it the way it's supposed to be, you find out that a lot of people will still run back to where they have built, and people will run back from Africa, of course, and that's why you hear, for example, in the Nigerian system, now they say things are not working, then you hear the Japa syndrome, or Japa, you've heard about Japa?
What is Japa?
Japa. Where people, of course, leave the country.
Okay.
Go get a better life.
A better life, yeah.
Yes, and if some people sell their houses, and I keep asking, why would I want to sell my house in millions and go? And when they sell, if they're not lucky, they may not get the right persons to do it for them. You see that they've been duped from other people. You see a lot of people complaining. So the thing is, if you really want to help a continent that is so blessed with all the natural resources that you can use to fix this country that you've come to carry things out of, there's no way you can tell me that it cannot help to build it. Because if you talk about corruption, as I said, it's still, there's still part of it. Some people go to put money in another country in their banks.
In their banks, yeah.
Money they're supposed to probably use to fix their own country, they go and put it in another country's bank, and the bank in that country will use that money to build their own country.
Yeah.
So is this fair?
No.
These are the things that are happening in the continent that has become so deep that sometimes, as I said, you feel very emotional to see people going through a lot and what they go through, honestly.
So when you were speaking, something came to mind.
Yes.
When we keep associating our poverty to our colonial past, those who came to steal our natural resources and stole our human resources, I mean, those who colonized us, they also raised a defense that, okay, we left you a long time ago. Let's look at a place like Rwanda.
Yes.
Rwanda went through a very devastating war.
That's right.
And after they put things in, let me say, in an order, and now they have, to me, I may be wrong, but they have a very patriotic president in the form of Paul Kagame.
Paul Kagame, yes.
Yeah, and things are going well for Rwanda now. Even if not well, at least they are doing good.
Yes.
So is it that we don't have leaders, good leaders? African countries.
It boils down to the good leaders.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about leaders, the leaders can't do it all. They can't do it all alone.
Yeah.
Leaders have people that are working with them. As a leader, for example, if I'm leading, I have experts around me. I bring experts to come. So if, for example, you really, really are transparent, as somebody working with a leader, you're truthful to yourself. You think about the generation yet unborn. When a leader is not doing it right, you have the right to talk to the leader. Talk with the leader. Instead of covering up and telling the leader that all is well when all is not well. So sometimes when people blame leaders, you know, I will always sit back and say, what about those that he has put in place to do the work?
Okay, yeah.
What are they doing? Are they doing the right thing? Or are they helping jeopardize the, the economy too?
Yeah,
Are they doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Because if you have a president, for example, he has ministers, they have state governors, maybe some other countries, I don't know how they place their system of government. But for example, I'll use my country, Nigeria, like we have the president, you have the governors, you have the, maybe president bring ministers, governors are for state, then you have the local government chairman, you have the councillors and the wards. Now tell me, the president is not there to see all this. The leader is not there to see all this. That's why he has fixed people.
Yeah.
So now, those people that are fixed, what are they doing to see to it that the country moves forward?
I think you've raised a very, very important point.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
So
the leader, the president, doesn't have eyes everywhere. But of course, if anything goes wrong, of course, all fingers will point to the president.
To the president, yeah.
Okay, now what about state governors? They have allocations going to the state governors. Now, in Nigeria today, they just passed, I think, the law for the local government autonomy. That local government should be able to do all the things they're supposed to do on their own, with interruption, without the interruption of the governors.
The governors, yeah.
Yes. So now, because I know growing up, the local government used to work.
Yeah.
You see people doing contracts,
yeah.
Waters, the road, supplies, there's potable water, the telephones were working, landline, we call it. They were all working.
Yeah.
Just like that, things changed. Why? Because, of course, transparency leads to corruption. I said lack of transparency leads to corruption.
To corruption, yeah.
And also, the lack of maintenance culture is a very, very, is one of the very, I don't know the term to use, but lack of maintenance culture is one of the problems too we have in Africa.
Yeah.
You have a lot of mighty buildings, they're not using it. It's abandoned. A road has hole, you won't patch it, you leave it until the things will, develop into like a gully or something. Why? So now, are you telling me now, for example, that this road that has potholes, the leader now that should come down to come and fix it?
To fix it, no. There should be somebody who
because he has put
people there
in there to do it.
Yeah.
So in every, like now, tomorrow, like you're a leader. So when anything goes wrong in your organization, because you put somebody there and the person didn't do it right, as a leader, of course, you will call the person to caution him.
Yeah, to caution
and if the person is not performing, you remove the person.
Yeah, you remove the person.
And get a better hand to come and get this done.
Yeah.
So most of the times when you point at the leaders, you should also look at those that the leaders have put in place to see that, of course, they're monitored and they're able to do the things they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I always say that monitoring and evaluation is key. Once you have monitoring and evaluation, it's key.
Yeah, I think you brought in some very, very interesting points. So can we also say that we know a lot of money, you find the United Nations, the World Bank, the Africa Development Bank, so many institutions initiating poverty alleviation programs. But up to now, there are no significant effects felt across Africa. So can we, blame transparency and corruption or Human
Yes.
apathy or something, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
I say that lack of transparency gave birth to corruption.
Yeah.
That is me. Princess is saying the lack of transparency.
Yeah, I
gave
think
birth to
we'll be
corruption.
quoting you in our
Quoting me and
newsletter.
yes.
Princess.
Lack of
Yeah,
because
lack
if
of
they're transparent, for God's sake,
yeah.
believe me, things should be put in place. If they're transparent, things will be put in place.
Yeah.
When you allow the people that are supposed to be monitoring you and evaluating you come on board to say that, okay, this is what we've done. Please come. Like when you talk about maybe the banking thing, they talk about auditing. Yeah, when you audit and you audit rightfully.
Yeah.
Without passing through corners. Of course, things will be done. If of course you're given the position to do this thing and you're not able to do it, I think I am saying that the person should be removed. And if you get a more well-trained or competent person to take over.
Yeah.
So Africa issue, even if, of course, the colonial people came, did what they did, and went back, they're still part of us.
Yeah.
Because when somebody takes a lot of money and go put in a bank, for example, somebody that is working in the government, not the private sector, even the private sector, you question.
You question, yeah. You have
question
to.
and said, oh, how come? Yeah. So when you allow money to be taken from you and put in a bank outside the country, why collect it? If you really want to help us as
Africa, yeah.
You will tell them to put the money back in the bank of your country. Or let the person build factories where he can. Africa is a very big market.
Yeah, so Princess, let me come in with this particular scenario. It wasn't part of what I'd wanted to ask you. But I think as you were speaking, I saw the passionate in your eyes for Africans.
Yes.
I think about a month ago, there was this trending on the social media. One Ghanaian was given a Dutch passport. Dutch. Yeah, Dutch passport. So when he was given the Dutch passport, he did a audio or a video saying that when you look at the suffering and the lack of growth or development in Africa, he thinks obtaining a Dutch passport is better than obtaining a PhD in Africa. Yeah, some of us who are academics, we felt, so annoyed. But later, I think after listening to the argument, I sat down and I said, well, on the basis that what he was saying, because some of us who have obtained a PhD are not, impacting Africa in a way that it should be, because we are intellectuals. So right. On this, do you think even the African man himself, African individual, is also a part of this poverty problem? Because they are not doing anything. They rather, we come to Africa, be showing off that, oh, I'm a PhD holder, I'm this. But we are not actually, impacting the economic development impact in Africa.
Some of the African intellectuals, experts, professors like you that have the passion. There are lots of you people like that that have the passion to come back home to give back.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at the medical line.
Yeah.
A lot of them come back and give free medicals to the people.
Yeah.
In terms of operation, maybe eye problem, a lot. A lot. I've met with some people that have come and they've come to say that this is why we're here and this is what we want to do. And they're happy to do it. Now, for the Ghanaian with the Dutch passport,
Yeah.
it is not that, of course, he got the Dutch passport.
Yeah.
But I still want to say that no matter how they talk about poverty in Africa,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I always say that Africa, they just tag us as poor,
Mm-hmm.
but we are not.
We are not, yeah, we are not.
The only problem, as I said, corruption, weak governance, mismanagement of resources
Mm-hmm.
are part of what is making us looking like as we are poor.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not. Because if, for example, Rwanda got it right,
Yeah.
the other African countries should meet the Rwandans
Mm-hmm.
and ask them, how did you do it? There's nothing wrong
Mm-hmm.
in asking. If you don't know,
ask. Yeah.
To know. There's nothing wrong. The meetings shouldn't be about some black and white. The meetings shouldn't be about meeting for dinners, drinking, jokes. It's a meeting of where all the experts in this field should come together and decide on how Africa should become better for the continent.
Yeah.
And we have, of course, a structure already on ground. We have a structure already on ground. We have a structure already on ground that should also be following this up, which of course is the African Union.
The African Union, yeah. Do you think they are relevant?
Oh, because they should,
yeah.
But they need to do more. They need to do more. Because even as an organization, all the African countries that are members, of course, are not there for free.
Yeah.
They're not there for free. So I think African Union, of course, should be able to talk with all the presidents, even of course they say sovereignty, etc. But as a union, which of course we have all these African countries under them, the chairman should be able to have a monitoring and evaluation unit or department who should monitor these countries talking about how to get it right. We have an agenda, the Agenda 2063.
Yeah, 2063, yeah.
Yes, the Agenda 2063. So now, should we be praying and fasting so that we can have the target or get to the goal of the Agenda 2063? We're in 2024.
Yeah, 2024. So how many years? About, yeah.
So it's the day we stop to mismanage our resources.
Resources, yeah.
The day we say enough is enough, we are ready to be transparent in all the things we do and put an end to corruption. The day we're able to have a better governance system instead of the weak system of government or governance. Believe me, Africa will be a better place for us all.
That's good. I think, let me ask this question. So on the basis of this, what is your organization doing to help reduce poverty among Africans? I know you cannot entirely reduce but in your own corner, what are you now doing?
Yes, you know, as an NGO, it's an NGO, of course, which of course is non-political,
yeah,
non-governmental. It's formed to help the needy. And in one way or the other, we've tried in our own little way to see to it that those that have come to us or those that have gone to, that we see that, of course, are in need of what we do, we try to help. Yeah. For example, in API, we have the agricultural sector, where we try as much as possible to talk with the people. We sometimes bring experts to talk to the people on the way forward in terms of crops that should be planted. And I have some people, of course, that are even as far as, Egypt, South Africa, Nigeria, Libya, etc., in a group that we always discuss about this.
Okay.
Yes, on how we can see that agriculture in Africa becomes a success.
Okay.
Because if you hear the things they talk about, it's really good ideas that can help us see to it that we get a better chance of saying to you that the agricultural sector becomes a very, very good you know, sector that everybody should be proud of in Africa, because we are so blessed with all the soil resources and all. Then we talk about youth and women empowerment, where we try as much as possible to support youth in terms of training, skill acquisitions. So of course, after the skill acquisition, they try as much as possible to get their hands on what it is they can do after learning. The women, of course, are empowered too. You know, like as little as maybe a woman should be able to get money to do what it is that she can to keep us going.
Yeah.
Because of course, you can't compare, you know, the men and women.
Yeah, yeah.
And also we have the health sector. Yes, part of, so where we normally do the medical outreach.
Okay.
Yes, we go to rural areas where we try as much as possible to, you know, talk with the people, do some tests with the experts that we have. And apart from the Orthodox, we also concentrate more on the alternative medicine.
Yeah, the natural medicine. Yeah.
Yes, natural medicine.
Yeah.
So we use our experts on ground. So we have the physiotherapy unit. We have, of course, the medical unit. So we do all it takes that to see that. But of course, one of the major things that one really, you know, can't really get is, of course, funding.
Yeah, funding. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Funding.
Yes.
Okay, Princess, thank you very much for your time. I think you've, today Princess has raised quite a lot of very important issues.
Yeah,
in
thank
that
you.
we think that, or she is of the opinion, for which I also support, that in order for Africa to overcome this thing that I call cancer of poverty, we need good governance, we need transparency, and we have to try our best to stop corruption. And at the same time, the intellectuals has to make sure or try their best so that what they've learned will have an impact on Africa.
That's right.
So thank you very much for your time. I think you raised one issue, Agenda 2063.
Yes, so the African Union, yes.
Yeah, so I'll schedule another one-on-one with you, because this program is it's not only about health.
That's right.
Yeah, health, when you define health, it has to do with the physical, spiritual, and the mental aspect of a human being. Yeah. So I'll bring you back again later, maybe somewhere in first week of October, so that we have a proper look at Agenda 2063.
Yeah.
What are the loopholes, and how are we going to get prepared towards Agenda 2063?
By the grace.
Yeah, Princess, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. So we I pray for Africa.
Yeah.
I pray for the best for us all. For the world in general, because even if you talk about Africa too, of course, I know that other parts of the world too are going through what they're going through.
Whatever.
But we'll continue to do our best and see that whatever it is, we are ready, of course, to partner with you.
Oh, definitely, because the things you do align with ours. So I think later we initiate some, discussion on partnership.
Yes, collaboration in all levels is
all level,
Yes. Okay. So breaking the circle, yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Princess.
You're welcome. I really appreciate it, Dr. Prof.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome.